What is up, my fellow comment? What are you doing there, Dan?
Oh, this? Yeah, no, I'm using my hat as a fan because, man, all the heat coming from the comments against us.
It's probably from all those hot takes.
Yeah, we got all these spicy takes here, man. A mixture of that and the heat from the comments is just making it unbearable here. So, decided to use this hat, cool me down a little bit.
Well, hopefully this video gets a little bit better response from them. And anyone that did comment, thank you guys very much for your opinions. Do appreciate you guys. Hope you guys are all doing well. This week we're doing the NFC West.
All right, so Chris, all joking aside, I'm actually pretty excited for this episode because we are doing the NFC West. We got a lot of good teams in here. We got the Rams, who won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. We got the 49ers, who have been to the NFC Championship like 2 or 3 times in a row now. We got the Seahawks, who did a lot better last year than nobody thought they would, and obviously, go Seahawks fans here. And got the Cardinals, who are in a very interesting position this year. Anything you want to say before we get into this?
I'm hoping this division does a lot better than I think our picks are going to be. Mainly because we're kind of dealing with the picks we've already taken before, and we're not going back. Maybe at the end we'll go through and make some small adjustments to everything. But I think this division is going to be a lot better besides one team. I could see all 3 teams in the playoffs personally.
It could happen. I will say, at the end of this series, we'll go back and do kind of an addendum. We'll just make any changes as we see fit. But for right now, we're not going to make any changes to our already chosen outcomes, and we'll just come back to them at the end. So for right now, we're going to go based off of our previous outcomes on top of the ones that we still are going to pick. So Chris, let's get us started. Which team we starting out with here?
We are starting out with the Arizona Cardinals. And looking at their preseason games, I don't look for the Cardinals to be that good, mainly because they don't have Kyler Murray. But looking at the stats from last year and his previous stats in general, he hasn't really got him to maybe but one winning record and one tie record of 8-8.
Yeah, the Cardinals went 4-13 last year. Kyler Murray played for the first 11 games, it looks like. He started 11 games, but he got injured with an ACL tear. Never fun. They did not make the playoffs, and he's going to be out at least the first half of this year.
What was his record as a starter by chance?
You beat me right to it. They went 3-8 with him as the starter last year. So he had about 2,300, almost 2,400 passing yards. He had 8 fumbles, 2 lost fumbles. Yeah, he even rushed for 2 touchdowns, but not the greatest for the first overall pick in 2019.
No, I 100% agree with that. I think he's a little bit overrated myself.
I do think it's kind of interesting last year when they were like, oh, he doesn't want to practice, he just wants to play Madden. And they put it in his clause he like needed to watch film or something.
I thought that was wild. I thought that was wild for them to put in there.
Also, I mean, but they did go 9-5 in 2021. He threw 3,700 yards. He had a overall rating of 100, if I'm reading this right, and basically they went to the playoffs, but they didn't win the playoffs. they went 9-5. But Colt McCoy is the backup this year. Last year, when Kyler Murray was out, he was 1-2 as a starter. I did also want to mention their first round pick this year was Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle. You know, they said that he had outstanding length and upper body strength to jar defensive linemen, good mobility as a zone blocker, really good footwork. He was pretty good in terms of good offensive linemen. They were very desperate in that position, but I think that's literally the only thing that might improve is that he might protect Kyler Murray a little bit more to make some pretty questionable throws.
Yeah, and Colt McCoy could probably do a decent enough job by having a good offensive line blocking for him because he wasn't bad for Washington when he was there. I know he was well liked by him.
No matter how good the quarterback is in Washington, it was never because of Dan Snyder. But week 1, they're playing the Commanders. We already covered this. I think the Commies are going to win this one.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think the Commanders are going to walk away with a victory against the Cardinals here. I just don't look for the Cardinals to be that competitive a squad this year. Honestly, do they have a first-round pick? I think they do. They should probably work on tanking.
I was going to say they got also the Texans' first pick next year
That's right.
For Will Anderson. But
that's right, they did. So that could work out pretty favorable for the Cardinals at the end of the year. No offense, Cardinals fans. Hopefully none's taken.
Week 2, the Giants are coming to play in Arizona, but we had the Giants winning here because while we don't think the Giants are going to be the best team next year, we still think they're going to be better than the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's basically about it there. I think the Giants have a pretty good defense, decent enough offense if everybody's working together and they can keep Saquon happy.
Oh, we forgot to mention that D-Hop even got released.
Yeah, D-Hop got released. They released the best player on their team, in my personal opinion. They couldn't even get trade for him, which is wild. And I know it's because they didn't really have any leverage on him or anything like that, but it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up at.
Week 3, they're playing the Cowboys.
We have the Cowboys winning this because Cowboys have one of the better defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think about the first game we haven't already predicted here? The Cardinals going to Santa Clara and playing the 49ers.
I think the 49ers walk away with a victory here.
I agree.
Cardinals.
I think it's one of those things. Yeah. Go
ahead. Cardinals just are not going to fare well against the 49ers. 49ers were a good playoff team last year. We'll get to them in a little bit with how we actually feel about how they're going to do this year. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to look too well for the Cardinals.
Yep. And then I think we had the Bengals beating them again.
Yeah, so right now they're sitting at 0-5.
Yeah. We've been saying for weeks the Titans and the Cardinals are probably going to be in contention for number 1 draft pick. So just leaving that out there. Then they're playing the Rams. The Rams are a big question mark this year because Matt Stafford is coming back. We'll get to him in a little bit. I mean, Cooper Kupp is still there. Aaron Donald is still there.
They have a good team if you start thinking about who they have. Rams
just in terms of talent, yes.
Yeah, in terms of talent, they have a great team. In terms of coaching, they have a great team. It's going to be interesting to see if they can put all those pieces together of who they... I know they released some people. They got rid of Jalen Ramsey. The Rams could be a good team. They could be a fringe playoff team, in my personal opinion. I think they're better than the Cardinals, too.
I don't know necessarily at this point if they're going to win the division, but yes, I think the Rams could be a wild card spot if they play their cards right. And so, yeah, the Rams are getting this one over the Cardinals. Man, this is not looking good for the Cardinals because next week they're playing the Seahawks.
And we're big Seahawks fans here.
I might save this until we talk about the Seahawks, but because you just mentioned we're Seahawks fans, I'll just say it here. Speaking of Seahawks fans, like we've been saying that as a joke now, but I was talking to somebody at my job the other day who mentioned that they just don't like Seattle because of the fans. I don't know enough about the team to care, but I know they got a little rowdy.
When they had the Legion of Boom going, people did get a little bit annoying to deal with when it came to Seattle fans. I didn't see so many Seattle fans around here, and the ones I have dealt with, kind of like Chiefs fans, they are actually diehard fans of the team that have ride and die for their squad, and they've been through all the hard times with them. So I don't really have anything against Seattle fans, just mainly because, bird teams got to stick together.
Right.
It's kind of like how I feel about the Eagles.
They should have just ran at the 1-yard line. That's my only thing I'll say about that. But Seahawks, I think, are going to beat the Cardinals here because Geno Smith has really improved, and they got some really good weapons we'll get into later.
Yeah. And then we have them losing against the Ravens, the Browns, the Falcons. There you go, Falcons fans, and the Texans. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. They might beat the Falcons, but apparently we're sleeping on the Falcons. So
I hope they beat the Falcons.
They could beat the Falcons. They could
beat the Texans.
But I think, even the Browns might be. Did we flip the coin on that one? I can't remember. No, we didn't.
No, there's no way we did.
The Browns just have more talent. If they lose that game, it's because of their coach is pretty good. If they lose that game, it's just poor playmaking.
Yeah, because they have a great defensive line. They have good playmakers in the backfield.
I know you think Deshaun Watson's going to be better this year. I'm waiting to see. I'm holding my judgment.
I don't want him to be. I'll be 100% honest right there. I don't want him to be, but I think he's going to do great.
Then the Rams are going to the Cardinals State Farm Arena.
Yeah, and I don't think they're bad. I'm just going on paper. I think the Rams are just better than the Cardinals. I think the rest of the division's better than the Cardinals, so I think they get swept by their own division. So I think the Rams beat them here because the Rams could be playing for a playoff spot at this point in the season. And this is only 2 weeks going after bye week for the Rams, so they could be pretty well rested here.
Well, even when Kyler Murray is healthy, he averages less than 4,000 yards a year.
What's the highest passing yards? Was 3,700?
3,971.
That's pretty good. What's his interception ratio by chance?
He got 12 interceptions and 26 touchdowns in 2020.
It's middle.
He got a 94 rating. Yeah, he's okay.
And it'll be Colt McCoy playing quarterback here, I imagine. And Colt's a backup quarterback for a reason. That's nothing against them.
Now, by this point, I think Kyler Murray might be back. Do you think that plays into effect against the Rams?
I would like for it to, but I really think that he'll be trying to shake the cobwebs off and getting. I mean, that's a hard, and not everyone's Adrian Peterson because it's ACL tear, right?
Yep.
Yeah, not everybody's Adrian Peterson. Not everybody's going to come back that hard.
All right. Well, then we had them losing to the Steelers, and then I'm sorry. Like you were saying, the 49ers, they're gonna.
Oh boy, this is reminding me of the Chiefs, just the complete opposite.
Oh, we're gonna get heat in this. I should get my fan ready. I should buy a fan. Then the Bears. Okay, so this is the one thing. Like someone mentioned that Justin Fields is not that good. He's only had 2 years, and he's had really bad offensive lines and not really any weapons. Yep. So
he's been doing it all himself.
So I think DJ Moore is going to be really helpful. I think who did they get? Darnell Wright will help.
I think the Bears are better than the Cardinals too. Now, this is definitely a game the Cardinals could win, 100%. Out of all the games,
if they fight really hard, yes,
this is one they could win. But I don't see them beating the Eagles. We don't have them beating the Eagles. And then they go to do they go to Seattle? They play.
No, Seattle goes. Yeah, the Seahawks go at home. At this point, I feel like they could just tank for go winless for whatever that guy's name is. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. We have the Cardinals going 0-17.
We might make some changes with our addendum video, but they're going to be number 1 pick. Because we even had the Titans going 2-15.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, Cardinals fans. But
I don't
great
hate
draft
you.
picks.
And they did get the Texans draft pick, and we didn't think the Texans. We predicted them to be 4-13, so maybe a top 10 pick with that too.
Yeah, that'll help them out a ton. They'll be able to get some weapons possibly for.
Well, because they have Kyler Murray signed to a contract, so they're not going to replace him at least in the next draft. They might give him another year to develop. Maybe get a wide receiver next year.
They did get a new head coach, if I remember correctly, for the Cardinals.
They got a new GM. Oh yeah,
because GM.
Wasn't Cliff Kingsbury? He was fired.
Yeah, he was fired.
Okay.
So they decide that they want to go somewhere else. I mean, based off of if people are going, because the way that they treat rookie quarterbacks and younger quarterbacks now, it's as if they don't develop in 3 years, they're done with them. They're going to throw them away, grab a new person, and work with them. So
which is unfortunate, but
it is. It doesn't give a lot of these guys.
Patrick Mahomes was behind Alex Smith for at least a year or two.
Yeah. Year. His rookie year, he sat behind him, and I think he even got to play a little bit of his rookie year. Lamar sat behind. I know he's not a prestigious quarterback, but he still won a Super Bowl and broke the record when he was playing in the playoffs. Joe Flacco for a little bit. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. That paid dividends, in my opinion. He got to learn and got to get a little bit of heat behind him dealing with Brett Favre.
Yep.
That's why I think Jordan Love could be good as well, but it's just these GMs and these coaches don't give these quarterbacks enough time to develop nowadays, it feels like. Especially when you get... I don't think he's had a good offensive line. He really hasn't been given a chance. Same thing with Josh Rosen. Now, Josh Rosen, I think, was a bad quarterback, but...
Oh, yeah. They might beat the Browns and honestly, the Falcons, I could see it going that way. Maybe the Texans.
3 wins at most.
Maybe the Rams
at
one point. But let's go ahead and move in a more positive direction here with San Francisco and the 49ers, because... that is a team that I am cautiously optimistic for. I mean, obviously they played the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I wasn't rooting for them then, but last year they went 13-4 in the regular season. They had 3 starting quarterbacks. They had Trey Lance for the first couple weeks, then he broke his ankle. Then it was Jimmy G. And then they did Brock Purdy at one point. I think he played 5 games. They made the NFC Championship with Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. So, presumably, he's going to start.
He's coming off an injury?
However, though, is his injury fully healed, or are they going to have to give him some time, maybe give Trey Lance the start at the beginning?
It was an elbow injury, right? I do believe.
If not elbow, it was I don't think it was a muscle thing.
Something in his arm, I want to say.
Yeah.
So I want to say it was
It was definitely his arm. I don't know exactly what it was, but...
that could be a tough injury to come back from for a quarterback. I mean, how much... Yeah, it wasn't an elbow injury because during the NFC Championship, it was depressing to see him try to attempt to throw. He just was not able to do it. How healthy is he going to be? I just putting this out there. I want the 49ers to do good. I have a couple friends who are 49ers fans. I really like their team. I think they have one of the best teams on paper. But how injured is he going to be when it comes to his elbow? Trey Lance, I think, suffered an injury last year, if I remember correctly. If he has to come in to relieve him at all. How's he going to do? It's just, there's a lot of question marks at the quarterback position. I want to say Shanahan's probably one of the best head coaches in the NFL when it comes to quarterback development.
So just looking at Brock Purdy's stats, I mean, he played 5 games. He went 5-0. Well, he started 5 games, went 5-0 in the regular season. 1,300 yards, almost 1,400, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He got 107.3 rating, and he rushed for a touchdown. Postseason, he did 569 yards in 3 games. Obviously, they went 2-1, 0 interceptions. Meanwhile, Trey Lance, he played 2 games, 194 yards. I mean, he played 2 games. Well, he played 6 games in 2021, and he started 2 of them. He did 603 yards, 5 touchdowns. He didn't have any touchdowns in 2022. I mean, he had a passer rating of 55 versus 97 in 2021. I think they should play Brock Purdy if he's healthy. If not, Trey Lance is a okay backup, in my opinion.
Yeah, with where he's at development-wise, I agree. Brock Purdy showed he's got a lot of talent. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. If he continues to go, I would love to see Brock Purdy develop into what they wanted Jimmy G to be. Jimmy G wasn't a bad quarterback. I actually like Jimmy G, but I would love to see Brock Purdy become the next, Montana for the 49ers. That would be sick.
Sure, yeah. So I did want to say, too, that I think as long as Deebo Samuel is with him, he's their best player, in my opinion, and George Kittle is also there. I'd say those are two are neck and neck. Deebo Samuel's still with them, George Kittle. So, we'll see.
They got one of the best running backs in the NFL. I mean, they got CMC, and I've heard...
Oh, yeah, I forgot they do have CMC.
I've heard rumors that they're looking at adding Dalvin Cook. Could you imagine them adding Dalvin Cook as a backup? I don't know where they get the money from.
I don't want to, but anyway.
That'd be a good backup running back to have.
Going then to the games. Preseason, they're playing the Raiders. Oh, Jimmy G. They're playing the Broncos, and they're playing the Chargers. Not really anything I want to say there. But actually, I think the preseason starts a month from today. Just FYI.
Yeah. I would be so excited.
So, 49ers play the Steelers the first week, and we say that they lose because we did our Steelers predictions.
Yeah, I think that Brock Purdy's going to be knocking off the cobwebs. He's going to be kind of shaking
even if it's Trey Lance, same thing.
Yeah. If it's Trey Lance especially, because I think the Steelers have a great defense. They're going to have one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL.
This is a good question here, 49ers versus Rams. That was the NFC Championship the year that the Rams won the Super Bowl. I think it really depends on quarterback, because if Matt Stafford's playing and say a Trey Lance is playing, I say Matt Stafford. But if Brock Purdy's playing, it's going to be more evenly matched. I say we flip a coin in that case. But what do you think?
The Rams have a really good defense. I think the 49ers have a better defense. I think the Rams have a... No, that's tough. I don't even know if we have to flip a coin here. If it's Brock Purdy starting, I think they beat the Rams.
Yeah, we'll give it to the 49ers here.
Okay.
Then we had the 49ers beating the Giants.
Yep.
Cool. Beating the Cardinals.
Yep.
Losing to the Cowboys. That's going to be interesting because the Cowboys are going to be out for blood. Like I said, they have a really good defense this year, which I did want to mention too. So Kellen Moore is no longer the OC. I heard that Mike McCarthy is going to be taking on more of a leading role, but they had to fill the spot, and it's going to be Brian Schottenheimer. He was a coaching analyst for the Cowboys last year. Before that, he was a passing game coordinator for the Jags in 21. He was Seattle's offensive coordinator from 2018 to 2020. Oh, he was the Jets OC in 06 to 11. I could see them losing to the Cowboys, but
This is also a game when we do our addendum that we could go back to and change, just because 49ers have better offense, personal opinion. Dak has weapons, but Brock Purdy's got better ones. So I think the defense for the Cowboys is neck and neck with the 49ers, but they edge them out by a little bit is how I think it is. Micah Parsons is an animal.
I'm going to go ahead and get some Advil ready just in case we do switch that in the addendum, because I know the Cowboys fans are going to come after us for that one. But then we had the 49ers beating the Browns.
Yep.
No complaints there. Now the Vikings. What time of the day is this game? It's an 8:15. It's a primetime game. I'm going San Francisco.
I'm going with San Francisco. Not even as a joke. I would go for them anyways, just because I think that they have a better defense than the Vikings, personally. They also have a better... just a better overall team in general.
Now, the Bengals, we had that as an L. They got a bye week. We think the Jags are going to beat them. Buccaneers, that's a game I think we could flip in the addendum.
Yeah.
I think we might have done the Bucs winning against the 49ers because they beat the Titans and they go on a little bit of a winning streak. At this point in the season, if Brock Purdy is the quarterback and he's healthy, I think that they're going to be doing better. So this might be an addendum thing.
Yeah, no, it might be an addendum thing to switch. I 100% agree with that. I think we had this as an upset. I think this was a predicted upset also.
Okay. Well, then next week, I think that they could come back and play the Seahawks and win.
And where are they playing at? They're playing in Seattle.
Now, let's give Seattle the advantage here, actually.
Yeah, just because it's in Seattle itself, I think that they could actually beat them there.
And we're going to talk about the Seattle Seahawks here in a minute, but I will say I think Deebo Samuel is more experienced, obviously, than Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I know that he's been frustrated with the team a little bit. I don't know if that really plays into anything, but yeah, I'm going to give the Seahawks the slight edge just because it's home field advantage.
No, I 100% agree with that. I think we give them home field advantage there. Have them drop to the Eagles as well. But then they go against the Seahawks again.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that they win against the Seahawks at home.
Yep.
Then they're gonna beat the Cardinals.
Yep.
We had them. Oh, that's funny. They're playing the Ravens and then the Commanders. We had them lose to the Ravens and then win against the Commanders.
Yes, and then this is where it comes down to they play the Rams again. I honestly think they sweep the Rams this year.
Gonna be a big question mark, but I could see it. Especially if they're trying to secure a playoff spot at this point, or at least win the division. All right, Chris, so the 49ers, they're not going winless. I'm seeing a pretty decent amount of green and red.
It's a good mixture. We have them going 9-8. When the addendum comes out, I think they're going to be looking more towards 11-6 or 10-7.
I do think this is pretty fair right now. And, I'm standing by our choices because, it's not like we're going in here saying, oh, well, we're going to have an addendum in a couple weeks, so this is like, we're just going to let this go. No, I mean, we're going to really go hard and look at the games and really try to settle it down a little bit. But
it's probably only a couple games that we're going to switch altogether. I say maybe 5 at most through the whole thing that I can see.
Maybe 10, but yeah.
Not many at all.
But let's move over to the Rams then, because so I had some notes for that. They were 5-12 last year, which was the worst for a defending Super Bowl champion. They had a lot of injuries last year. Matt Stafford had a back injury, I think it was. So he played 9 games and went 3-6. He threw 2,000 yards, had a passer rating of 87, 68% completion rating. I think if he's healthy and Cooper Kupp's healthy, Aaron Donald's healthy, Tyler Higbee's healthy. They lost Jalen Ramsey though. I think that's going to be a big factor. I think it is
too. I want the Rams to be a good team as well. I don't have anything against them. They have a lot of players. I
was rooting for them in the Super Bowl against New England, and I'm happy that they won 56. As a Ravens fan, I'll just say that. I think against the Seahawks, I think the Seahawks are on their way up. I feel like the Rams kind of just tripped, and now they're getting back up, but it's going to take a minute.
Yeah, so I think they lose to the Seahawks here.
Okay. Then we had them lose to the 49ers and the Bengals, but we had the Colts losing to the Rams, so we say the Rams beat the Colts here. Then the Eagles, we think the Eagles are going to be a very tough squad to beat this year, so the Rams again. But the Rams are going to beat the Cardinals, lose to the Steelers though. It depends, but I think the Steelers and the Rams, I might have said this in the earlier video, but they're pretty evenly matched, if not Steelers are a little bit more. And I don't mean that as an insult, Steelers fans. We'll look at this again, but I do think that as of right now, the Rams lose to the Steelers. We had them lose to the Cowboys, which, based just purely on the talent of the offense and the defense, we'll give the Cowboys that one.
Packers, where it gets interesting, because Jordan Love could be a really good quarterback, and that's really all I really got for the Packers, though.
You know what?
They have a good run offense with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones.
Well, because Jordan Love, he didn't even play that much. He played in 4 games last year and only threw 195 yards. He played in 6 games and started 1 game in 2021, threw 411 yards. We had a passer rating of 112 last year.
I honestly think the Rams get the win here.
Yeah, let's give it to the Rams. I'm cool with that.
Mainly because I think Aaron Donald's going to get after him and cause some issues. Yeah. Then they got the bye week.
Okay, so where's this game against Seattle? Where's this at?
So this is in L.A., if I'm correct. Yep, this is in L.A.
It'll be a hard-fought battle. I don't know. Do the Seahawks sweep the Rams, though?
I don't think so. I think the Rams do win one of these games against the Seahawks.
Okay, we'll give them this then. We definitely, they're gonna beat the Cardinals.
Yep, we have that one.
The Browns, that would be a game I want to look back at later because, again, based purely on talent, if they're healthy, I think that they could beat the Browns here, but I still think that they lose to the Ravens. They could beat the Commanders, but the Commanders fan of me wants them to lose to the Commanders.
So I think what it ended up being is that those 3 teams have a really good defenses. Commanders and the Browns especially have a good front 7. So I could see them causing some issues when it comes to the Rams itself. If they get after Matt Stafford, they could cause some damage. And Aaron Donald doesn't really play well against the Ravens, and that's just what I've seen. I don't know if it's just because Lamar is a good running quarterback. He's not just a running quarterback, but just because he's able to be mobile and do what he does in the pocket.
I think this year with OBJ and Zay Flowers, I'm sure there's other names. Mark Andrews, I don't know why I'm blanking on our other wide receiver, but I look to Lamar to not run a lot this year. But I think, there's nothing. We don't need to keep getting into that. So,
but then the Ravens all day.
We had the Rams beating the Saints, which I think is fair. Maybe we look at this one again, but
I don't think so. Because here's kind of what I come to with that. Saints have a new offense. Rams have an offense they've been developed. Cooper Kupp's better than Michael Thomas, personal opinion. Also based off of yards, because when Matt Stafford focuses in on a wide receiver, Calvin Johnson, Cooper Kupp, they're just really good. So I just don't think that Michael Thomas is going to get the ball delivered to him. Who is the quarterback for the Saints now? It's Derek Carr, right?
Yeah. I think him and Matt Stafford both have their issues, but I think they're respectable quarterbacks in their own right.
Yes. I like Stafford more personally, so I think that the Rams would walk away with that. And I think Aaron Donald's better than most of the defensive players on the Saints. Yep. The Saints have a good defense, but...
Yeah, I think the Rams defense could contain Saquon. I think that they're obviously going to put up a good... I would not be surprised if they put up at least 3 to 5 sacks on Daniel Jones in this game. So, yeah, they're going to beat the Giants. And then the 49ers, it's going to be a hard fought, but the 49ers are going to sweep the Rams. That puts them at 7-10.
I think that's the low end of what they could get. I think they could have a lot more wins than that, but they're in a kind of competitive division now, and they're not the big dog on campus. They have a lot of teams that they have to go against with the Rams, the Commanders, and the Browns. Those are good squads there. The Cowboys. They play a lot of good teams this year.
Do you think that Sean McVay is a better overall coach than Kyle Shanahan? Because I know you love Kyle Shanahan as a quarterback's coach.
Ooh. Yeah, I think Shanahan's a better coach.
Okay.
I will say this, though. McVay led his team to a Super Bowl twice. He's kind of got the edge if you want to look at that. But it's whether or not he has good key pieces to this team. Do they have enough key pieces, though? Because I think they need to get a little bit of these younger guys developed that they have on their team.
I don't think this is going to be their year. Said no Cowboys fan ever. But so now let's get to our favorite.
The belle of the ball.
The reason we like the Seahawks is because they have a really good overall team, in my opinion. Honestly, if you really had me pick my favorite team in the division, it's going to be either the Rams or the Seahawks. I know, two fans of both squads, that's sacrilegious. I can't do that. But, I have family from the LA area, and I also just really I have family that live in the Seattle area now. So, just based off of that, I don't hate either team. Like I said, I was rooting for the Rams in Super Bowl 56 and whatever, 53. I was rooting for the Seahawks when they played New England. I think I was rooting for the Broncos when they beat the heck out of them. But
I was too. I liked Peyton Manning, so I wanted them to win it. But yeah. I would say I'm more of a 49ers fan out of this division than any of the other ones personally.
That's fine. Yeah.
But I don't hate any of the teams in this division whatsoever.
Exactly.
I think they're all really good in their own way. Cardinals are just the Cardinals right now. They'll be back next year most likely into full recovery.
That gif of Chuck Norris or whoever it is, I can't think of his name, the guy with the beard, and he just kind of looks at the camera, just winks, nods.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I feel about this division. I'm like, you go girl. Let's talk about the Seahawks here because we have them beating the Rams first week, the Lions. Ooh, the Lions are on the up and up too, though.
Yeah, I think the Lions beat them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
before we make a definitive answer, tell me why.
So I think the Lions are going to beat them here, mainly because they have really good coaching, personal opinion. I think they have a good, underrated defense, in my opinion. I think they play with a lot of grit with their head coach. They just play behind him.
Well, it's in Detroit, too.
It's in Detroit. Then I definitely would like to say the Lions here, personally.
Okay. That's cool.
St. Brown's probably one of the better receivers in the NFL. He showed that last year. Jameson Williams, I think, was the other receiver that you named for me earlier. He's a great receiver as well.
I think Jared Goff can be really good.
I think he can with the right team when it's built around him. I think he's an underrated quarterback as well. I don't think he's amazing by any means. I think Jared Goff could probably be close to number 2 quarterback in the NFC North. No?
I think currently he's better than Justin Fields.
And Jordan Love.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is arguably better.
Yeah, I
So
think they're about neck and neck. So, I mean, I think the Lions just walk away with the win here, but this is a game that could go back and forth. I mean, this could
this
go
could be a
either
hard
way.
fought. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's give the Seahawks the L here. Then we have them beating the Panthers. I got no complaints about that. Same with the Giants.
Yep.
Then they go in the bye week.
Lose
The
to the
Bengals could be a
Bengals.
hard fought game, but yeah, I think the Bengals will win that one. Beat the Cardinals, beat the Browns. They lose to the Ravens. Then we have them lose to the Rams. And then they beat the 49ers. That could be a toss up too. They beat the Cowboys. I would love that. They lose to the 49ers there. So, they split with the 49ers. The Eagles, though, again, it's a dangerous team.
It's going to be a scary team. It's a team that I think can make the playoffs again,
Do
personally.
we have anyone? I don't think anyone in this division wins against the Eagles.
No, and I think it's just the Eagles are going to be a scary team. Now, that will be a hard fought game, and depending on where they're at, that could be a playoff base game. Because looking at everything, because everything's filled out, because we've already done all these teams' games and everything, we already have them all the way filled out with who all they go against. The Titans, the Steelers, and the Cardinals we have as wins. They're going to end up being 11-6. I think that's
And win the division.
floor. I think they could go higher than that. Maybe one game less, but they win the division by what we have.
If a couple of games go a different way, we could be looking at the 49ers maybe winning the division
Yep.
by a game. But right now, we got the Seahawks going 11-6.
Yeah, I think it's the Seahawks or the 49ers division to win.
I do want to say at the end of the season when the Seahawks are playing the Titans and the Cardinals, I feel like they might play their starters against the Steelers. I don't want them to get complacent at this point in time.
Yeah.
But they could rest their starters against the Titans and the Cardinals, especially if the Titans and Cards are trying to go winless for whatever that kid's name is.
Winless for Williams.
But yeah, those are our picks. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your time. Again, we have been seeing an increase in our views, so we love it. We love all of you. Thank you. Even if you're a fan of an opposing team, it's all good. This is a safe space for everyone to just kind of come around and talk about football.
Yeah. Appreciate all your comments. You guys are amazing. We're loving seeing everybody go back and forth in the comment section. I saw one guy say, "Why are you guys so hard on the Chargers?" And I saw someone say the Chargers suck. Back to him. It's just one of those things where, it's football at the end of the day. It doesn't all matter at all. It's just personal opinions of how we think teams are going to do. I hope you guys are loving these videos. Next week, we are going to be doing the AFC East. Could also be called the AFC Beast.
Just right up now, I think the Dolphins are going to win that, but if the Bills win it again, yeah, I could see it, but definitely I don't think the Patriots are going to win this. I actually see the Patriots going last place, and the Jets could sneak into a wild card.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. But we'll see what it ends up being, guys. Let us know. Share this with your fellow NFC West fans. Let us know what they think. And thank you guys so much for following and watching the videos and subscribing. Do deeply appreciate it.
Hit the subscribe button. We're going to put videos out right now. It's every Friday, but we're going to aim towards Monday, Wednesday, Friday once the season starts. We got a lot in store. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
Peace.